Fury can dance around AJ, but I also think we know AJ can definitely.
Coy, it's all been happening today. Take
If only they know.
10.
Take 10 as the sun starts to set as well.
We can't control the weather, Addy. We can't complain. We're in East London again by some beautiful street art here. We're just off by Hackney Wick. Talking about being off our wick, let's talk about Mr. 1000 Days, Mr. Dillian Whyte. End of the month, Saturday 22nd, Matchroom pay-per-view card. I think he's going to knock out Povetkin. What's next for Dillian?
As that big concrete jungle goes past, I don't know, I'm very split on it. Like before I was adamant that Dillian Whyte gets a shot. I was like, you know what, Dillian Whyte's going to get his shot. I don't think he does. I really don't think, like the closer it gets, the more I think Tyson Fury gets upgraded to franchise champion and Dillian Whyte fights for a vacant belt. In fact, maybe he's given a vacant belt like the way Charlo was and like the way Devin Haney was, and that's it. So you get your world title shot, shut up. That's what I honestly believe is going to happen.
That's a mug off.
Well, what does he want? He wants a world title.
Well, no. Look, he wants to be world champion.
Yeah.
But you and I both know, especially in the history of heavyweights, to be considered real world champion, you're meant to dethrone a champion.
Agreed.
We know there's all sorts of machinations going on round behind the scenes, i.e. Wilder Fury 3, and obviously the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
AJ versus Fury, 2-part fight.
Yeah.
Where it's going to happen, we don't know, but we know everyone wants to see that. You think that's going to get in the way of Dillian getting his shot against Fury anytime soon?
Yeah, you know what it is? I just feel like Dillian's going to fight in August. So that Dillian fights in, 10 days' time? Wilder Fury 3 is going to happen, I'm guessing, around January. I think Pulev versus Joshua is going to happen around December. I think Whyte's performance against Povetkin is almost going to be forgotten. And everyone's going to get excited like they did after Fury beat Wilder for AJ Fury again. It just generates so much money and so much interest. And it's not Whyte's fault, it's just that these two are so big. And look, how often are we going to get where two guys are ready right now? Like right now. Like no excuses, right? No damage, let's go. Sometimes you got to strike where the iron's hot. And if Fury beats Wilder and AJ beats Pulev, iron is very hot.
So that makes sense on paper.
Yeah.
If you're Dillian, your ears are steaming right now.
You're in here
now, that Mauricio Suleiman, to cover his behind, has to make Dillian fight for a title by February. Whether it has to be signed by February or happen before February, we don't know. We're not there. We don't know the legal entanglements. Let's assume the fight has to be signed off. Corona, delays, whatnot. If Dillian doesn't get his shot at the big boy, Mr. Fury, what's the next best thing he can hope for? To fight for a vacant title against who?
Wilder.
Okay.
If Wilder, look, it's the fight we want. Like he screamed for Wilder, didn't he? 18 months ago.
Call Wilder a bully.
Looks semi-good, and I'm talking first fight Fury Wilder against Dillian Whyte, against Tyson Fury, then that's not bad. I think you can still sell it. You can still sell Wilder versus Whyte. I think they'll still be ranked third and fourth, whatever way you want to put them. It still works. If Wilder gets smashed to pieces, then Dillian Whyte's going to fight for the vacant belt against
who?
Andy Ruiz. Would you moan about Andy Ruiz? I wouldn't moan too much. If Andy Ruiz can beat someone of note, maybe a Luis Ortiz-like, then I wouldn't mind about Andy Ruiz versus Dillian Whyte for a vacant belt.
There's been a lot of smoke between them in a social media way. I think Dillian kind of dismissed it because he saw it as, look, Andy, you've already had 2 lottery tickets. You beat the king, and then you got another shot at defending it. Big money fights.
Yeah.
Dillian hasn't had that lucky lottery ticket yet.
He had the lottery ticket, didn't cash it in. Let's not forget, they had that lottery ticket prior to AJ going out and wanting to fight Jarrell Miller. We're hearing an option to fight at Wembley Stadium, didn't cash it in.
But not for the WBC. Dillian's been on this WBC train, paying his sanctioning fees. I know to you, world title is world title, but Dillian's always wanted to be green belt champion. But you're right, you have to take the chances you get. Okay. We all want to see, I know I want to see what I think is right, but at the same time, I can't deny, we all want to see AJ Fury. No doubt.
No doubt.
But
I feel bad for Dillian because I like Dillian. I know some people might think I don't, I do. And I like the way boxing has rules and regulations. But at the same time, my God, the idea of seeing AJ versus Fury, I'm sorry, trumps everything.
I just personally think that if Fury literally thinks he can walk on water, then Fury should back his talk and dispatch of Dillian in the early part of next year, and then him and AJ have a mega clash lined up, end of the year, middle of the year.
I don't think it's so much Fury not being able to back his talk, because I think Fury can.
Agreed.
Let's be honest.
Agreed.
I think it's AJ. I'm more faithful. Like, if AJ gets past Pulev, I think he will, and Usyk comes out hard and says, you know, I want my shot. It's a mandatory. I want that shot. And the WBO don't back down, and Usyk doesn't back down. I mean, I can't lie to you. I wouldn't put all my money on AJ beating Usyk. I think that's the fear. I think Dillian Whyte. I mean, Fury will get his job done. Can AJ? That's the problem. That's the problem, I think.
Well, I think there's a few dots to be considered.
Dots, my friend.
We need to see how effective Dillian is against Povetkin. I think he knocks him out.
Yeah.
We need to see how Usyk fares against a big, solid Chisora.
Yes.
Yeah, and we need to see how AJ looks against a fight that everyone's looking past. I hope he's not.
It's interesting that, right? Because what AJ are we going to see? Are we going to see boxer AJ Ruiz? Are we going to see man-mountain crusher AJ Povetkin? I don't know. I still think AJ has question marks. Big question marks. We'll see.
It's weird. You know how Fury kind of brought out power punching in the last fight, and people make a lot of emphasis on the Kronk involvement, his cousin Andy Lee. To me, he just proves that not only is he a good boxer, but he can also be a boxer puncher. AJ has proven that he can dance on his toes, and AJ has knocked people out like Povetkin in spectacular fashion. Have we seen AJ gel the two together like we have Tyson? Not yet. So we need to see effective dancer and puncher to then know that AJ could bring fire with water against Fury. You see where I'm coming from?
I think we know, though, that Fury can dance around AJ, but I also think we know AJ can definitely... Anthony Wick for you. I think we also know that AJ can definitely knock out Fury.
Absolutely, agreed.
Yeah.
It's fire and water. It's a good matchup. Can I just give a little plug to Mr. Dillian Whyte, aka 1000 Days? I do have a track screaming for your corner to be heard, Dillian. But more important than that, the Fight Camp Anthem, Ade. The Fight Camp Anthem.
You know, I can't lie to you guys. I've heard it. I like it.
We've all heard it. Eddie played it.
Eddie played it.
On IFL.
Yeah.
Matchroom, give me a shout.
Was you going to just drop IFL TV's name on this channel? You about to just do that, weren't you? You was about to do it. Then you realised, wait a minute, we're on the YouTube Champions channel.
But no, I dubbed you the YouTube
Coogan did play it. Coogan played it, right? Put it on his video.
Eddie was dancing.
Well.
Eddie was dubbing.
So let's hope they hear it. It's good. It's a good track. The one for Dillian Whyte, the 1000 Days, you might have to X out a bit, or parental advisory a bit of it, but it's good.
No, maximum violence.
Maximum violence.